From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise Podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us. And by us, of course, I'm referring to Rick, a.k.a. the Brown Python, Ben, a.k.a. Mexican Nostradamus, and yours truly, Benji, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music. And you know what it turns out, guys? The Berlin Wall never fell down. It just shifted east, is what it seems like in these days and times. But one thing is for sure that the whole world can get together on, except for maybe China and India, is that it's time to sanction the absolute fuck out of Russia in every way possible. This has escalated pretty bad. And the latest today, Ben, what happened? What did our president, Joseph R. Biden?
Oh boy.
The illustrious, the memorable, the irreplaceable Joseph R. Biden.
You forgot to mention the most popular president in American history.
Ever. No, our favorite actor from Weekend at Bernie's, he banned oil imports from the United States, essentially cutting off our purchasing of oil from Russia.
Oh, and what's the big concern? What's going to happen because of that?
We don't have oil. And so right now, oil prices, gasoline prices are shooting through the roof. Yep. Even though funny part was most of the supply that's at your local gas station was purchased months ago, but somehow the prices of the gas they have now are shooting up.
Right.
Well, I mean, there's speculation on supply.
No fucking sense. It makes no sense. How do you have an immediate price increase on a commodity that was purchased months ago for that gas station?
Because they're speculating that the supply of oil is going to increase in the future.
They're padding. Yeah, they're.
That's exactly right.
No, they're gouging. That's price gouging. That's legal. That's price gouging. That should be looked at. That's bullshit.
But they're doing it in such a it's a subtle with sort of the shift of the market currents that it's it just kind of goes with the waves.
But 50 cents in 1 week.
No, I know.
That's bullshit. That's price gouging. That should be illegal. That's 50 cents in 1 week.
Well,
that doesn't make any sense.
They can't do a price gouging. Go ahead, Benji. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. All I was just going to say is, no, you're absolutely right. But it's like that's not how it's policed. You know what I mean? It's if the market shifts, then that's the signal. Like it isn't thought through like that. It's just that's what's expected. So it doesn't get called. And it is what it is because of the Wall Street, really, partially, but then also to the reaction, and they can get away with it, just like how is Amazon? No, not to get on a total other topic, but how the fuck is but how are all these conglomerates having record profits despite COVID or whatever? So anyway, go ahead.
Well, it's not just, yes, it's the speculation of the oil supply that's driving up prices, but it's not only that, it's also the staffing shortages at refineries. It's the instability of the market. All that stuff is driving prices up.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Well, okay.
But that's quick. Okay. That's his argument is that it's too quick.
Well, right. But these things have already been in the market for that long. So gas was $3.09 a week ago. Right, the part of the national average. Or, no, I'm sorry, $3.39 a week ago in Texas, at least, because if you're looking at the averages, it got bumped up to $3.86, which is roughly 50 cents more in 1 week. Yeah, the price of gas at the beginning of the week was $104 at the beginning of last week. Now it's $113. Yes. That's not even a 10% increase. So how would gas increase 50 cents? On a 330, so if you do the math, that's roughly a 28% increase for a 10% increase in the market.
But you got to remember also that the gas has been going up ever since the beginning of the Biden administration. It's been going up. It's been increasing. It's only been going on one trajectory. It's been going up.
Right. I get you. You know? But what I'm trying to say is typically there's a correlation mathematically between things that occur. There's no correlation. This is just price gouging. I mean, there really isn't.
I guess they've been price gouging for the whole year, I guess, man, because there's no reason why gas should have gone up when Biden took over.
Well, we know why gas went up when Biden took over, because everybody's freaking out about these clean air directives and all this shit. Yeah, electric cars and these gas companies are trying to get one last fuck. They just want to get one last nut until guess what? until it runs dry, and then they shift all their machinery to solar power or whatever's going to be the next thing. It's bullshit, man. It's
been solar power for like 12 years now. Nothing's happened.
Well, no, nonetheless, when EVs completely take over, gasoline will be nothing. I mean,
they would need to stack up their chips up front, and that way for the phase out process to survive, but man, what needs to happen now though? But if they're going to do this fucking clean energy, it's got to we have to decide as a fucking nation that we're behind this and just go full fucking in.
I'm not.
No, I know. And nobody is.
But
that's the thing. Like if they're put you know what I mean? If they're actually going to do something instead of just keep the wheels greased and kind of ride this fucking car until the brakes fall off, they have to, now would be that time. Well, it's never going to be, there's never going to be another opportunity to actually put everything in place and just fucking go full tilt.
Right. But I think that's
otherwise it's never going to happen.
I think that's part of what's happening here. I think, and you can put on the tinfoil hat or whatever you like for everything, but this whole gasoline price increase is playing into the administration's want for the shift to electric vehicles, for the shift to cleaner energy. Now the rally cry is no longer, oh, we want to save the earth. Oh, we want energy independence from Russia, from our enemies. So now they're trying, this all kind of in a way works out for what they've been wanting, which is kind of gross in a sense too, because it's just, no one ever wastes a good tragedy, right?
No. And
it's always
think
an
about
opportunity.
For sure. And think about it this way too, to kind of get real tinfoily. What would be a reason for us when this whole shit started with Russia and Ukraine? I mean, you could break it down, and I guess there is a lot of east-west reasons or whatever, but
East Coast, West Coast,
what better way?
Biggie.
East Coast, West Coast beef. No, but what now, in retrospect, bringing the attention to this situation to usher that in, would benefit.
100%.
Yeah, but what's going to happen though is, like everything else, it's going to adjust. During the Obama years, gas prices were pretty high too, and you didn't see a big push for EV vehicles and solar power and everything. People just kind of went, okay, whatever, I'll just pay it for now, and it's going to go back down with the next administration, whatever it is. So I mean, I see your point where they're thinking this is the time to do it, but I don't think anything's going to get done. Besides, energy independence means drilling in America too. I mean, did you guys listen to the conference today, the press conference for the president?
Yeah.
He pretty much said, and whatever he was rambling about, he's pretty much said, no, we're not going to decrease regulation to increase production, he says, and we must achieve energy independence by going all electric or solar.
Right.
Which hasn't happened yet. And it won't happen for the next 10 years. So long story short, prices aren't going down anytime soon because he's not going to ease up regulations. He's not going to incentivize domestic drilling. And he's going to stick with what doesn't work, So
yeah, and that was my whole point, is that they're not going. You said that perfectly, because there's the two options, and we're not doing either. It's either loosen up regulations and let them frack in everybody's fucking backyard and set pipelines off across Native Americans. Fucking
good solution.
Dude, no, I don't either. I'm just saying, no. But listen, it's either that or lean full into this green energy shit instead of bullshitting about it. And right now we're in the middle of the fucking street. We're not on the right side. We're not on the left side. We're just here to do it okay, I guess.
Yeah, I guess right? I guess we'll go to the clean energy thing, which is like a mile away.
Right. Or we'll do half. We'll just.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think the administration, okay, so there's been this clean energy push since I would have to say easily since even from second Bush, he started pushing for EPA regulations on vehicles for gas mileage. So this is not, this has been a push that's been seen even through Republicans that, were not Trump. Before Trump, the Republican Party, while they didn't necessarily appreciate regulations, they did appreciate the concept of actually trying not to completely destroy nature, right? They were big into public lands because people like to hunt. They were big into like a bunch of things like that. But, after Trump, they just, they just got this stupid mentality now. And I'm not trying to down them, but like we cannot go crazy and frack everything. But nonetheless, we still have I think the number, I was wrong the other day when I said it was 2,500 leases. We have 9,000 leases right now.
Yeah.
That can drill oil in the United States.
Yes, but there's a problem with that.
We should be pumping out oil without this issue. I still think this is a corporate made up situation. It's bullshit.
A lease doesn't guarantee. Okay, you don't get a lease and get permission to drill right away. You grab a lease, and then you have to set up about 5 to 10 years of studying environmental impacts just to make sure that you can drill in that thing. So just because you have a lease doesn't mean you can drill the next day. You still have to go through these regulations that can last anywhere between 5 to 10 years before you can start drilling. So, and not only that, but typically 9,000 leases is nothing compared to what mostly the average has been in the last 4 or 5 years, which has been about 36,000 leases.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
So he got rid of. Okay, well, let's do the math. So 9 minus 36.
There's been a decrease in leases.
From what? From fracking? Yeah, because fracking was horrible for our country. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
It wasn't just fracking; it was also
fracking is a majority of that 25,000. Yeah, because fracking, I don't know, makes people's water catch on fire. It's causing earthquakes in central United States when there wasn't one. Did you know the difference of earthquakes in the Oklahoma, North Texas region from, let's say, recorded American history from 1805 to 2000, there was like 7. As soon as they started fracking from 2000 to 2016, there was like 980. Like, fracking is horrible. It was horrible.
It was
and
horrible.
That's why they got rid of
the very beginning.
And all of it's horrible.
They've improved the technology since then. They've responded to a lot of these.
They have anti-earthquake technology. What is it? Did they get it from Walmart? Did they pick it up from Walmart, dude?
No, I'm pretty sure they got it from some company.
We can't control earthquakes, bro.
Well, then we can't cause them either. Then
yes, we can. We can by injecting millions and millions. We can't control them, but we can cause them at high pressure. Come on, dude.
You're contradicting yourself. We can either cause them and control them, or we cannot cause them and not control them.
We can control them by not fracking, which is what we've done. We can cause them by fracking, which is a simple correlation by just looking at the numbers and the studies. And on top of that, their cement encasements are horrible. They're leaking. They're getting that wastewater in the water basins. People's water is on fire from the methane, because that's part of the fracking process, is that they release methane gas into the surrounding area.
Yeah, they came out back in 2000, early 2000s. That was an issue back in the early 2000s.
No, it's still happening now.
We're 22 years into the future now. It's
the incidence of cancer for people that live around those wells skyrocketed.
I'm sure it did.
They are a complete. This is the worst thing we can do for oil, and it's dumb. It's dumb. And the only way that it's actually profitable is at the prices it's at today. In order for fracking to be profitable back in 2010, they were talking about it whenever Saudi Arabia actually increased oil production and drove down the cost of oil significantly. This was 10 years ago. In order for fracking to be profitable, it had to be over $80 a barrel. And this one, Saudi Arabia drove it down to $30 a barrel. And that by itself shut down a majority of the fracking. Fracking is not a good cost option for the United States either, because in order for fracking to actually make money, it has to still have gasoline close to $3 a gallon, if not more. So the reality is it's not right. It's not a good cost savings for us either.
There's more ways to drill for oil than just fracking. I mean, there's real reservoirs of oil underneath our ground,
technically,
sure, but during the Trump years, gas was at about $2, maybe $2.50 at a gallon. So there was no fracking going on then.
There was, what are you talking about?
Logic.
There's fracking going on like crazy during the Trump years.
But you just said that
no, up to 2016, 2017. No, dude, there was fracking going on in the Trump years. You can look it up. He even said
it was cool. Yeah, I'm sure there was fracking. It just probably wasn't going on as much.
Dude,
I mean, gas was pretty cheap back then.
Right, because, and then, like I said, also, Saudi Arabia played a price war with the fracking and drove the prices down, killing off fracking. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There was other market forces that helped Trump along in this situation. Just like it seems like whenever other Republicans, there's a very tight relationship between Republicans and the Kingdom of Saud. Paint that as you will, that's what it is. So anytime they pump more oil, and OPEC, that's just what they do.
That relationship actually beneficial to the American people versus
it does not benefit the American people because
versus a Biden-Ukraine relationship, which benefited only Biden.
11 of them were on airplanes that crashed into the World Trade Centers. None of those people have ever been held legally responsible for what they've done. When everybody else is grounded on September 12th, 2001, guess what? Not family members of the Kingdom of Saud. Not those guys. They got to fly out of here. They had several flights out of here. When a country or individuals have that much sway, it's not okay. And that's what the Republican government, that's what. So yeah, okay, great. So there are kings too? No, I don't fucking think so, dude. Either way, nonetheless, we banned oil from Russia, and OPEC is saying it's up to 8 million barrels a day, which is a significant amount.
And we get about what percent from Russia?
I don't,
4, right?
4%.
Yeah,
4 5.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge amount, but there's a lot involved too. That's more
Right.
than just our direct imports, right? Because there's
Right.
stuff Europe depends on their energy quite a bit, way more. And some of that stuff, you never, like, once you get really deep into the sort of the capillaries of the entire flow of how everything goes, then it's going to get back to here in more ways than just gas. But gas obviously is going to raise the price of everything
gas too. For us, it's 4% of gas or oil that we buy from Russia, but Russia is a number 3 exporter of fertilizers to the United States.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're banning their fertilizer sales to us. That means our food prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
And our food is going to get a lot scarcer.
And wheat too.
Okay.
Ukraine produces like fucking 70% of
fertilizers. Yeah. So those two countries
wheat
are
too.
And wheat. Yeah, exactly.
Wheat. Yeah. Wheat.
So you're not going to get people to get your oatmeal or bread or corn. So yeah, no, this is disrupting our food supply as well. So not only are we going to see prices increase in gasoline, but we're also going to see prices in food. And if you thought the shelves were bare now, I mean, think about it about 6 months from now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, okay.
Go
Well,
to Kamau on 529, bro. Get you some
nice
about 3 or 4 bags of the 30-pound
rice
bags of jasmine rice. That's right. Made in Thailand, not Russia, not Ukraine. Stock up on that because it's going to get expensive to eat.
Well, I understand it will disrupt our food chain, right? It's going to be issues. The real problem, and I guess, and this is maybe a good segue into it, is that Russia is still invading Ukraine.
Yeah.
Wow. These are serious crimes. And this is a serious issue. The question is do we believe in freedom enough to have to go through these situations for these people that are being murdered, right? And I think Zelensky put it the best, and a couple of other people put it the best, is like, okay, you're paying 50 cents more per gallon for gasoline. We have kids dying here.
Yeah,
50%. It's not 50 cents. It's like $1.
He said 50 cents. That's what. No, I'm direct quoting. He said we're paying 50 cents more. We have kids dying here. Families are being ripped apart, and you're bitching about paying 50 cents more per gallon.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's also part of the crux of this problem, is that at some point we have to stand up to what's happening. I mean, whether, and I may be old school with the way I grew up, but we grew up fucking hating the Russians. right? That was our number one bad guy. I mean, I watched Red Dawn. I mean,
A Rocky, man.
Yeah, a Rocky, man. That dude cheated. He was fucking juiced to the tits.
Yeah, he's on
fucking
roids.
hitting that fucking thing and hitting like 2,900 pounds of pressure. How was Balboa gonna handle that shit?
Right.
They always cheat. You fucking do the Olympics. If anybody wants to see that special called Icarus,
not only that, he committed
all juice to the tits.
He committed a fucking hate crime.
Exactly.
He didn't even get charged.
Exactly. And guess what? In the end, I mean, they're the fuckers who killed John Wick's dog. I mean, it's just a bad fucking ride. And of course I'm trying to jest. If there are any Russian listeners out there, I'm just fucking with you. Your government does suck dick though. But basically, all of these pains that we're feeling are nothing compared to what these individuals in Ukraine are feeling. And at some point, we have to stand up against belligerents.
And here's the thing. It is like, right? It's the right thing to do. But you do have to consider, and I'm not even just talking about, he said he was going to throw nukes, so we got to be scared of him. I'm not even saying in that context. I'm just saying the chain of events that you enact. If, like, for example, everybody's calling for this no-fly zone, that's become a thing. It's like trending and shit, and everybody, but without explaining it, right? Like what that actually means. Which what a no-fly zone means is if NATO declared a no-fly zone over the skies of Ukraine, that would mean if a Russian airplane was in that airspace, you know what I mean? A U.S. plane would shoot it the fuck down, which in turn would officially be a war with Russia. 100%. Like that's pretty much.
Okay. Well, no, you're right. But it would be NATO. NATO would be the one that would do the no-fly zone. It wouldn't be the United States hosting the no-fly zone.
But it would definitely be, you know what I mean? Like we're the county seat of fucking NATO, big time.
Okay, so my opinion of this is this: Russia has been amassing troops at the border of Ukraine for like the last year or so. Okay, this was not new. This was not a blitz. This has been building up. Our intelligence community has known about this. The world's been seeing this in plain sight. And yet nothing happened at all, except Ukraine was sounding off the alarm bells. But you didn't see NATO go in there and perform a military exercise, you know? You didn't see any kind of...
They did in Poland. They were performing military exercises. And they were performing military exercises.
Too bad Russia to go into Poland.
They cannot, but they cannot perform military exercises in a country that's not part NATO.
They can do whatever they want because they're NATO. They can just say, "Hey, Ukraine, you're my buddy this time. We're gonna go in there and do a military." You think Ukraine would have said, "No, you can't do that." No, dude.
Well, and also,
notice to come in. Yes, of course.
Also, it takes quite a while to arrange NATO to make moves. And after the former president basically said that NATO was dog shit, and he had no respect for it, why the fuck are they gonna move for anything?
If NATO was not dog shit, we wouldn't be in this mess right now.
Dude, no. NATO is not dog shit. It is what we came up with. So if it's dog shit, we fucked it up as America. And on top, because if you look at it, we're the ones who started the charter. So in the end, we had an obstructionist president who has a big dick crush on Putin, which was a reality. He was praising and is still praising a dictator, a strong man. Yes, he is. He's praising the piss shit out. Oh, that's a smart move. That's what I would have done. No, Trump. First off, you wouldn't. No. That's what I'm telling you.
What he was saying is that he waited until Biden became president to make his move.
It was a dumb.
Can you blame him?
But it was the dumb thing to say, because why would you ever praise your enemy in the country? Like, he grew up during the Cold War. Like, he was one of those kids that had to probably do the head under the desk shit for nuclear drills. And he's still going to talk shit. Those people rain terror on our country.
A lot of those, you got to understand that the quotes Trump says now, they're still taken out of context. Okay?
No, I heard the whole thing. I heard him say it. No, I because you're right. The media has been very, I've heard it. No, he said that. Exactly.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that NATO had enough time, or actually, okay, let's just say, not even say it, let's just say the international community had enough time to amass troops on Ukraine's border as well. that would have deterred Russia from
No, that
invading.
wouldn't have.
And
That's
we
a
wouldn't be
direct.
this mess.
No, that is a direct act of war. Look at
It is
no,
not. If you
look at the
stand your
Geneva
side and they
Convention.
stand their side.
Look at the Geneva Convention. Look at any type of international law. No, that is a direct act of war. Russia can amass troops on its border, and Ukraine could have amassed their own troops on their border. But unless they were part of NATO, which is what we are trying to do, we couldn't amass NATO troops there. That's a direct act of war. That's what I'm telling you. These are war games. All these things are written down. These rules and all this bullshit. It's like bureaucracy. Had we crossed it, then we would have basically said we're going to war with Russia, which is what we're trying to actively somewhat not do, even though those drone strikes sure look like they're fucking American drones. So, like, in the end, we had an obstructionist president that weakened NATO. It took Biden a year of getting NATO back together. Or not necessarily, and Blinken. It took him a year. And if you look at his last year of his travel, he's hit every one of the NATO countries up continuously. He was trying to rebuild that rapport with NATO. Now that there's a strong United States, there's a strong NATO. Without the United States, NATO is nothing. Period. End of statement. Nobody's shit without us because we
Russia's
carry
not
the big stick.
Russia would not be threatened at all of NATO.
Now, what's going to happen? Germany?
No.
Germany's going to do something? No. They had
We've seen what those Germans can do. Come on. Give a little bit of credit.
They had their day. They had their chance. Everyone's had their chance. And England's okay, look, I'll go through the countries, and I'm not trying to be wrong. England's military is what? Not even a 20th of what is ours. Germany, by because of their previous actions, are only allowed to be so big, like Japan. Who else you got? Spain. I mean, Portugal. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, who else can stand up except for the United States? So United States is NATO. That's it. And if we're not there, and if we're not strongly backing it, you get what Russia did now. Because for 4 years, Trump completely disassembled that. Yes,
he did not.
All
he wanted to do was have the countries pay their fair share into NATO. That's it.
No, he talked shit about NATO. He said horrible things. He weakened the bonds of NATO, and that allowed Russia to get powerful.
So a lot of butthurt feelings caused Russia to get powerful.
No. A lot of distrust in NATO and them seeing weak. If you're a lion, are you going to attack whenever are you going to attack a wildebeest that's fucking jacked? No, you're going to wait till the little baby comes by and kill that because that's weakened. NATO look weak. Putin,
if that was the case,
was going to happen.
If that was the case, Putin would have done this a long time ago, wouldn't he? Why did he wait till this year to do it?
Oh no, that was honestly logistics, and also the reality is that I be quite honest with you, and this is my opinion. I can't. No, these are opinions because I don't know the mind of a sociopath like him, but I do know that he did not think that Western Europe was going to band together with the United States the way it did because of the amount of damage that has occurred between European relations and the United States. I don't think he really thought that everyone was going to get back together. And when they did, I think that's why he pulled out the nuclear deterrent conversation.
Yeah, but if he was going to if Trump had done this for 4 years, he would have done this in Trump's third year, maybe at the end of Trump's fourth year. But he waited till Biden got inaugurated. He waited a whole year into his presidency to start this. Come on.
No, he moved 150,000.
He saw a weak leader.
He moved. He started moving. You're trying to tell me? No, he moved 150,000 troops over 2.5 to 3 years. So part of that occurred during Trump's reign too. I think everyone thought Trump was going to win, and I think he thought that too. No, this was going to happen under Trump's reign, and Trump wasn't going to do shit about it. And I think Putin had to make a move no matter what. He had already committed logistically to this whole thing.
Committed to it. They committed to this shit.
So you can tell me, dude, it takes 2 to 3 years to move 150,000 troops, especially with the fucking with the Lincoln log trucks that Russia has. Have you not seen their equipment?
2 million illegals were in our border, and that happened like a week.
2 million.
So
there's 2 million.
So, dude, 150,000 soldiers is nothing, dude. That's like that shit happens in 2 months.
Bro, they can't even move a 40-mile convoy more than 3 miles a day. You can tell me,
traffic, man.
Dude, it's not traffic. It's piss poor equipment and horrible planning. So, dude, it took them 2 years to get those 2 to 3 years to get those troops amassed there. You're telling me that
those caravan leaders over there to Russia, that would have gotten there in 2 weeks.
Well, speaking of equipment, though, speaking of equipment,
I got equipment for you.
All right, I got a big piece of equipment. I'm gonna shove in everybody's fucking face right now. Everybody's fucking mouth is about to get some of this equipment in about 3, 2, and 1. But Poland's been supplying a little bit of equipment over there in Ukraine.
Oh yeah, MiG 29s.
Yeah.
Oh no, 29 MiGs. I'm sorry, 29 MiGs, not MiG 29s. They're gonna be supplying 29 MiG fighters to Ukraine, which initially only had 27. So now this is actually effectively doubling their MiG fighters.
Right. And that's the one, if you look at all those breakdowns of like Russia, obviously the numbers are completely in the favor of Russia. Yeah. It's not even close, but like the one shocking the skies, right? Ukraine only has like, what'd you say? Only like fucking 30.
I believe 27 MiG fighters.
Yeah, it's right. And Russia's got hundreds or whatever. So
yes,
correct. So that is actually pretty significant because that's the one. And obviously the value of controlling the skies is fucking huge. And that's why once again, the no-fly zone is such a big deal, but we'll stay away from that. But yeah, so not only are obviously we're supporting in different ways, and we'll get into that in a minute, but I want to talk also too, not to sidetrack from the Poland MiGs, but speaking of that, right?
Sounds like some type of food. The Poland MiGs.
That shit are good, dude.
Yeah, I like mine with ketchup.
You're hungover? Yeah, man, about 10:30 in the morning, a little hangover. Like, God damn, I need a Polish MiG right about now. But anyway.
Wait. Now that sounds different.
Now that sounds real bad.
Yeah,
that sounds real bad.
Yeah,
I don't want, you know what? I changed mine. Check. Hey, everybody calm down. I changed my mind. I don't want
okay, good. Anymore. Oh, thank God.
You can keep that. I don't want to buy it.
I don't want to eat it.
But here's the thing.
I want messy.
It does, right? Like there's cabbage and shit falling all out of it, and maybe some.
I don't know, bro. It doesn't sound like cabbage. It sounds like just sausage, just fall all out of that shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
Big old chunk of Polish
bite into
sausage.
that shit and that squeeze. Yeah.
Oh, you hear her scream.
All kinds of noises.
Sounds like it's served from a hole in the wall.
Yeah, in a real dark and dingy location. But anyway, okay, here's what I want to talk about. So Ukraine is recruiting heavily in this fight. They're selling this thing, right? This is the fight. This is West versus East. This is the last stand. This is, and we can talk all day about the media presentation and Zelensky and, kind of rallying people, being this like almost cult hero at this point. But they have effectively piqued the interest of people from all over the world, retired veterans or special forces from all kinds of different countries. All you got to do is go to your Ukrainian embassy, whatever home country, do a little interview. I'm sure it's not too extensive because they're looking to put fucking guns in everybody's fucking hands. So, but
they stamp your hand like they do at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, exactly. There's like, oh, what?
And
but anyway, yeah, people are coming from all over the place, including the United States, to go help out the Ukrainians right there on the ground. So what's y'all's take on that? Like, is that, where do you get into those blurry lines of, we've actually got technically American citizens there on the ground for both sides, apparently.
Well, didn't Reddit have a campaign?
We'll talk about that later, but yeah.
Wasn't there Reddit?
Huge
there
Reddit
room about this.
Huge subreddit.
Subreddit about they want Redditors to go and fight for Ukraine, and the people were making fun of it because they were like, these people have never seen real combat. They probably just play video games all day and think that they're going to go in Ukraine fight.
Dude.
I think it could be a lot of that. I don't think you're getting a lot of specially trained soldiers signing up for these kinds of missions. I think it's a lot of gun-ho people who want to go, like Ben's neighbor, basically, who wants to go and fight for the Russians.
Oh boy. Yeah,
that was.
He's supposed to be back next week. The HOA is gonna bitch him out. He hasn't cut his yard. But
you can probably take care of that, bro.
I'm not touching his shit
while he's out of town. Go ahead and just
Dude, he's gonna get roasted. My big thing is, okay, so I think people have a choice, right? But I will respectfully disagree with my colleague. There is quite a bit of special forces, especially from Britain. So these guys have been posting a lot of SAS and British special forces are going in there because if they don't get any work anyways, like to be quite honest with you, the United States mops up a lot of shit. So you're starting to see like French special forces and British special forces who just want to get some work in are actually entering that country as volunteers. So from what I've heard, it's been 10,000 to 17,000 volunteers have already enlisted via the Ukraine embassies.
Yeah,
that's a significant number of soldiers. I mean, is it like tide turning?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. Let me ask you guys this: what do y'all think about this? Is this just like a way, sort of a red tape way around to actually get motherfuckers in there? Like, was 100%. This, in other words, like how much participation does the home countries have with this, right? And what are the talks that we don't get to hear between Ukraine and the other NATO countries as far as sending, almost like money laundering, right? Like you're laundering in fucking special forces motherfuckers into the country.
Yeah.
On the guise of like a volunteer as effectively a citizen going in there.
And those are some real pipe hitting motherfuckers, real shit, man. These are real killers.
But what you're effectively doing is you really are, because it's not on behalf of whatever nation, also on top of that, NATO, they're doing it on their own, supposedly.
Right.
Well, you know, on the other side,
it's an interesting sort of thing. Go ahead, Rick.
On the other side of the battle line, you also have Russian people who are going to fight for Russia as well.
Yeah.
But they're not coming from Western countries. They're coming from Syria.
No.
And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
Syria, Iran, a lot of the Arab countries down there in Africa and the Middle East who are coming in to fight for Russia or Russia's behalf as well.
Yeah. Like you mean like that Chechen unit who got decimated?
What?
I mean, yeah, dude, you didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that. What happened?
There's a Chechen unit of 10,000, right? And apparently they're the right-hand man for the president of Chechnya, who has committed unbelievable heinous crimes.
Of course.
He went down there with a platoon of 10,000. Yeah. So Russia apparently put them at the front. And it didn't work out so good because the general was killed and the platoon took severe losses. So yeah, no, a lot of these foreign fighters that are supposedly coming in from other countries, I don't think they're really as trained as one would think. I think I kind of get where Ben's saying a lot of the people volunteering are, as we can put in quotes, volunteering to fight in Ukraine. They kind of look like they're still active in the current militaries they're in.
Yes, dude, that's what I'm saying.
It's a big difference between like, you know, like a bunch of douchebags from like Iran who had a gun on the back of their head. They're doing prison time and said, you can get out of prison if you go fight against Ukraine. Okay. Versus, you know, some SAS. I don't know what they call their special forces, the French baguettes. I don't know.
Bro,
the
easy.
Baguettes.
I'm sorry.
The port. That's fucked up. I don't know what they call it. Fucking things. We love French people and the German. I don't even want German.
Shout out to France. Shout out to France.
German will just say they're SS.
I got people. Those guys. France, so chill a little bit.
Those individuals are volunteering, but they look like they're like coming in with really good gear. And they look like they're still within enlistment age.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
like your drone. Here. It's like like your air quotes Turkish drone.
Yeah. So now we got air quotes volunteers, but it's really like the British are like sending in a couple of thousand fucking troops. Exactly. So I'm trying to tell you, like all of a sudden there's gonna be I don't know SEAL team 6, 7, 8, 9, and 14, all volunteered together.
You know what? And just because it hasn't broke the Sunday morning headlines on the New York Times, it's a World War III is already happening, man.
Yeah. Well, this is a proxy World War III.
It is, but it is. Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you.
It's not and once again, it's not the official announcement, but like, I don't see at this point, and just like when they started putting troops on the border, like it got to a point where like the ground is tilted, the ball's rolling down. Like I just don't see a reverse out of this, man.
I like how you said that. Well, I honestly, the way I think this ends, if I had to make there's three possibilities, right? There's Russia wins, and then they attack Western Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
United States,
Moldova, then Poland,
Ukraine wins, and then Western Europe attacks Russia, which is going to happen because if Russia loses Ukraine, the cat's out the bag. They're weak as fuck. It's time to, it's time to roast them. But the most realistic possibility that I see is a Korea situation where an armistice will be between Eastern and Western Ukraine. And I think in that way, everyone saves face. The Cold War will rage. There will be subterfuge.
What did I just say at the
that's the
beginning?
only way it breaks down.
What did I say at the beginning of the program?
That you like big butts and you cannot lie.
Oh, they're setting up the new Berlin Wall at the end.
Yeah, exactly. A new wall, whole new thing. I think that's probably the most realistic possibility.
Your fourth scenario.
Oh God.
Your fourth scenario is
a nuclear war.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty damn close.
The West invades Russia, like you mentioned. China does not want to have the West in its backyard, and they get involved.
No,
so you got that part there too.
I don't think so. China already owns everybody. These are China. China doesn't give a fuck. I don't think China's playing in this in the long game. And to be quite honest with you, they want to negotiate a brokered peace because they want to keep their customers alive. But to be quite honest with you, China doesn't give a fuck. I think China would let Russia get taken.
They also want to reduce their population too. I mean,
well, no, they want to. They want to get rid of the cheap people. And to be quite honest with you, Eastern Europe doesn't really have a lot of money. So let's fill it with Western Europeans and make more money. It's really not. I don't see China really playing the game. In India, well, India's there. India's there. And to be quite honest with you, no one's ever going to beat India. So they really don't give a fuck. Alexander the Great couldn't take them out. Lost. The British had it, and they got beat back with like non-violence. Yeah, no one's taking India, man. India's got its own problems.
What about this? Speaking of China, to kind of shift into this, and I know this wasn't one of the pre-established topics, but
Benji.
Well, I was just going to bring up.
No, I had a question. I had a question for you. Oh. Going back to the topic of these foreign fighters, you sent over an article about Fort Hood going to Ukraine. What's that about?
So,
sorry, but I'm sorry to go.
Yeah, that's sorry.
No. I'm actually glad you touched on that. So right here in the old great state of Texas, they're sending the old, and we'll get into why this is interesting. The Fort Hood soldiers now, obviously, they're not going directly into Ukraine, but I think they're setting up maybe Poland, or
I think it was Poland. Yeah, like outside of just right outside of Ukraine.
Right.
It's not Belarus, that's for sure.
No, definitely not in Belarus. That's not a friendly territory. But so that is starting too. But what we've talked about Fort Hood on the and there's a great name for this place. We've established that. I want to say some predictions actually are tied to this topic. Fort Hood, if you don't know, is very notorious for soldiers stationed there to go missing. There's been a bunch of uncovered murders, like multiple homicide, like deep shit. So much so that, we said I wish I remember the episode, but you'll just have to scroll back and you'll just have to download every single one so you can catch up and know what we're talking about. But we had sort of suggested that, like, man, it seems to be that there's actual legit, the cartel has their grips on this fucking place.
Yeah.
Like, with, you know what I mean? Like the tentacles are unofficially woven into this shit. There's just way too much, like with soldiers and stuff like that, all these murders and unsolved crimes. Well, then it came out, I want to say a couple weeks later, that there was some kind of evidence of that. But nonetheless, Fort Hood has a reputation for being a total clusterfuck. So it's funny that they were mentioned as one of the first, bases to supply troops over there. It's almost like, Rick, what'd you joke on the text? You said they were probably excited, like, yeah, get us the fuck out of here, man. I'd much rather be in Eastern
probably
Europe right
safer
now
over there in Poland than they
Fort
are in
Hood.
Fort
Yeah,
Hood, man.
Your percentages of making it to
Bro.
2023 are probably higher, and fucking right on the border of Ukraine right about now. So
yeah, hey, bro,
then
but
Fort
think about it.
Hood-
What happens if they're using the cartels? They're just like the United States
Bro.
government is just using the cartels in Ukraine, dude.
That's a whole nother shit, and that's what that
Think
volunteer.
about that,
They're
bro.
bringing the hood to
Yep.
Poland. Is that what's
Think
going
about
on?
no, think about it. Like, okay, they're like, hey guys, look, we're gonna legalize some shit eventually, which
We
could
are.
lead into our later discussion too. But we're gonna legalize some shit. You guys want an angle on the market? Why don't you go do some work in Ukraine? I mean, I'd be honest with you. If you send the Mexican cartels to Russia, it's like to Ukraine, this shit's gonna be over quick. It's gonna be, you're gonna see a bunch of dudes with like nickel plated like AK-47s and like snakeskin boots, like doing
Sure.
work.
F-350s and shit.
Oh, right, exactly. F-350, like, what's up,
Dodge,
bitch?
fucking Dodge Rams like a
Exactly,
motherfucker.
like a motherfucker, dude.
All up in Kiev. All up in
Right.
Kiev with Dodge Rams and
Wait,
goddamn platinum plated
with
38.
Sinaloa stickers on the back, dude. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
hell
fucking gangster. I don't know, man. I think the Mexican cartel got this covered, but nonetheless, Fort Hood, yeah. I mean that's what we've been saying. That's what you've been saying. Like, okay, you're bringing Fort Hood soldiers into Poland, right? Poland is just a hop, skip, a jump away from Ukraine. How many volunteers are you going to have from this Fort Worth? Well,
we're
Fort Worth,
already
Fort Hood.
invested.
It's all the fuck the same. How many fucking people are you going to volunteer from that?
Probably
You know
a
what I'm
lot.
saying?
Probably half the base wants to get off there. So
Exactly. So now you keep moving more of these volunteers into position to fight. I don't know. This is
it's a way of getting, that's what I said, man. You're getting boots on the ground in just kind of in a strategic way.
Yep.
There's there's so much shit going on, dude. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
world is literally changing day to day
Oh yeah.
in subtle ways. Like
Oh,
and maybe not so subtle, depending on anything could happen at any day.
Right.
These are fucking crazy times, but
Well,
speaking
you know
of
what
crazy
doesn't
times-
change?
What's that?
What's that? Someone was gonna drop the transition. That was hilarious. I gotta
We
see
were all
this.
trying, like I felt like we all had something.
Did
but
you
Rick
not
won,
see
and
Rick?
we'll-
But Rick sniped that motherfucker. He saw us about ready
No,
to
good.
load
That
up
was-
and
Shit. Well,
What
fucking
is it?
played. He
What is
snatched
it?
that shit because that
You
was
know what
going.
doesn't
That was
change the Democrat Party here in Harris County?
nope.
They're with their dumb shit with their election
Dumb
fraud and shit.
election fraud. Shit. I love
Election
it.
fraud. So I'm going to call it that. I'll be the first to coin
Oh
that.
God, election fraud. Okay,
Well-
first off, most of the votes were for Democratic candidates, dude. Because
Yeah,
were they going
exactly.
to cheat themselves?
Yes, they are. They're going to
Okay.
want to put in the leftist commies
The
and leave out the
leftist
purple.
I love
The purple
how it goes
Democrats,
this way. I love
from
how
winning.
it's the leftist comments.
Oh,
Dude, these are runoffs. Okay, pump the brakes. Okay, these are runoffs.
You got
This
people
isn't
like Lena Hidalgo who's gonna win because
She's like
her
Stalin,
primary
Sylvester
her
Turner's
primary
fucking-
challenger, the purple guy, was not gonna win.
Who's
He
her
just
primary challenger? Who is her challenger? I didn't see.
I don't know. She had two. What did she
Let
have,
me see. Let here. Let me
12
let me look it up.
Democrats running against her.
Let me
12.
see.
That's how much
Lena-
people don't like her on here.
Really? I don't know. I don't think so. I heard she's pretty popular.
With the dudes, yeah. I mean,
Oh boy.
because
No,
you
it's
know
true.
she's a proponent of men's rights or whatever. I don't care. Anyway,
Proponent of
it's
men's
a-
rights. That's awesome.
it's a mild. It's a mild.
Oh, bro.
AOC
Okay.
persona.
Bro, she got 70% of the votes, followed by Erica Davis, who got 14% of the votes. I don't think there's an amount of fuckery that's going to flip this one, dude.
I don't know. Maybe there was. I think there were like 100,000 ballots that weren't counted because of fuckery.
No.
I don't think it was fuckery.
It's 10,000.
I think it was
No,
incompetence.
it was 100,000.
It's 10,000. It's 10,000. 6,000 were Democratic votes and 4,000 were Republican votes.
Of course.
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
So anyway, luckily, the elections commissioner, who was it?
Yeah, she's stepping down.
Isabel.
Well, she got
Technically.
Yeah, she was going to get
I
fired.
think she's stepping down. Thank God.
Right, in lieu of termination, basically.
Yeah.
I would have just terminated her. I'd be like, nah, man, I'm not gonna let you quit. You're gonna be fired.
Well, and here's the thing too: the Hidalgo had to do that.
I'm gonna let you quit. You're fired. That's
what
awesome.
I would've
She
done.
probably wanted. I bet Lena Hidalgo wanted to fire her.
Well,
because I think for her,
and the person
she has to
fired
react to it.
is Isabel Longoria.
Isabel Longoria, that's right.
Yes. Does not look like the other Longorias.
Oh no. Does not
No.
look like Eva Longoria. That's for damn sure.
No.
Shout out.
Because I would have given Eva Longoria a chance. I would have been like, look, I know
No.
people screw up. It
bet you would've.
happens.
I bet you would.
Why hasn't
Yeah.
she run for any kind of office?
Because what? Are you serious? Eva Longoria?
Dead serious.
Oh boy.
I feel like she
boy.
does have
basketball players, right? What is she doing now?
Well, you know
I
what?
don't
She'd
think-
probably be a
not
better
anymore.
candidate than Beto is for
What's
this.
it, Beto's not playing around.
No,
is
so yeah, this was in our infamous text thread. I threw it out there. I think Beto is fucking listening to this podcast because he's actually doing the one thing that I said if Democrats did, they could actually win the midterms. And he came out and said, as soon as he got nominated for the Democratic ticket, he said, I will legalize marijuana. That's the first thing I will do in the state of Texas. They're fucking listening, guys. He's listening to what I'm saying. I'm telling y'all, you know what?
That's a big campaign
Yeah,
move.
Beto, I don't fucking like you. I think you fucking suck. But I will work for your campaign for a significant amount of money and I will get you the win. But we're going to have to work on a lot of stuff.
Tell
you
me
know
you're
what?
a stupid name, first of all.
Yeah, first we're gonna get rid of your
Right,
name.
yeah.
We're gonna call you
Robert.
John O'Rourke, whatever your fucking name is. We're gonna you know what? First, no, this is it. We're gonna stage a big, like, what's that shit? Press conference, right? We're gonna have a big press conference, and during the first half hour, you're gonna say sorry for all the stupid shit you've ever done. Like, try to assume some type of Latin thing. And just look like a dumbass. I mean, you brown faced. Then
Apologize for looking like the Napoleon Dynamite too.
yes, and
And talking
apologize
about
for looking
him.
at Napoleon Dynamite. And then, we're gonna have to have you stop talking about trying to take away people's guns because that's not gonna get you voted in Texas ever. So, but this is an interesting thing, though, right? I mean, he is actually taking a populist stance with marijuana. My thought process is if this particular subject gets pushed hard in the paint, this could rally libertarians to him.
Yeah, because that crosses party lines.
Well, it's the
At this
not
point-
necessarily Republicans, but libertarians could
No, but
go to his
marijuana.
banner. Yeah,
But
because of the
marijuana,
fact
that's
that-
what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
It's marijuana.
Because libertarians, what they would love the funds from the taxes. It would
Yeah.
actually reduce the possibilities of us having to pay property taxes, etc. That's a lot of money the state of Texas could use, and it's an actual way to raise funds.
Yeah, I could see that happen. I mean, if they were to raise enough funds from the sale of marijuana, I mean, they could reduce gas prices by eliminating gas taxes and reducing property taxes by giving more money to the counties.
Or increase
Um,
or actually reduce property taxes by funding schools.
Yeah.
No, we don't need that shit, man. Come on, seriously.
But you know what I'm saying. But
No, I'm just
if you
kidding.
think about it though,
Yeah.
if he
It takes
puts
away
the
from-
right spin on this marijuana legalization, this is a good dude. I'm telling you,
I mean,
when he said that, there's something here. There's
there's a
something
lot
there.
of potential for that because it's not just the novelty of getting of recreational marijuana. Yeah, for people like that, whatever. But it's also the ability to raise funds
Yes.
from taxes and fund a lot of the projects that we're looking at, and it could go anywhere between, lower gas prices to maybe a light rail line or something.
are
speeding
just
train
better
from
state
across Texas.
infrastructure, right? Better state infrastructure, better, reducing taxes, better programs. And I'll be quite honest with you, marijuana legalization is more important to Texas voters than abortion laws are going after trans rights. Like, no one really, I mean, and I know people, there's some people that go to, like, there's some like really conservative people, maybe 10% of conservatives, and if I had to make a guess, really care about those things. But for the most part, most conservatives just don't want to pay high taxes and want to be left the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whereas Abbott and what's the lieutenant governor?
Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick.
The great Dan Patrick. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Okay. Fucking super douche.
Ben, keep going. Don't get.
Okay,
don't
I'm not. And Ken Fuxton Paxton. Those three are going after dumb things.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I really, I don't know. This could put them in play.
I know.
Well,
and
here,
Greg, all he has to do is not do anything, man. Like, just stop acting like a total douchebag to people.
Yes.
Leave people alone. Talk about making more money. Talk about reducing my taxes, and people will vote for you, man. You don't have to be talking about these social issues.
Yep.
Yeah, I know he's gonna lose,
but it's also
Whoa.
smart.
Really?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, it's still an uphill battle, but nonetheless, from a campaign standpoint, it's fucking brilliant because it's the one. Like Ben said, there's a lot of opportunity, and there's a lot of there's a big chance to turn some voters with that issue because it sort of cuts through all the parties. Yeah. But it's also a topic that Abbott probably won't invest too much in because that's a weird commitment for him to make with his base, right?
Well, he's already painted himself in the corner.
That's what I'm saying. Like with all this hard ass fucking abortion shit. Yeah, now he's in a position where he can't play that, go that populist angle with an issue like that. He kind of has to back off. So for Beto to get that established, like first thing, that shows to me that that was it's a good way to kick it off.
It is.
It really is smart because that's really his only fucking chance, honestly.
Well, I mean, no, I think there's a couple. I think he could rally the younger voters of Texas by legal marijuana legalization. I think, and anyone can say whatever, but I think what Harris County, what the city of Houston's already doing, and the rest of the state of Texas could easily do, is free community college for 2 years.
Oh, like New Mexico and shit.
Right. And then, New Mexico we can mention this in a minute too. New Mexico is basically just saying free college tuition. And then, I mean, really angling that towards young voters. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he just needs those two things, and somehow he walks back his comments about assault rifles.
Yeah, he has.
And I'll be honest with you, we got a fucking race. A real race. And he goes single subject. He stops playing around. He stops, and Beto stops talking about dumb shit and just starts smoking weed everywhere and just talking about weed. I almost think that will get him there.
Talk about weed. People will stop taking him seriously. He has to talk about the budget. He has to talk about revenue and sprinkle a little bit of weed talk in there.
Right.
And how he's going to accomplish it,
Yeah.
Because he has to talk about how he's going to increase revenue and the plans he has for that revenue. And the side conversation to that is, we're going to do it by taxing marijuana. That's it.
What?
That's it. He doesn't have to talk about how great weed is for everybody and smoke it on stage and prove a point.
It's even better.
He has to talk about revenue and issues and structure and infrastructure and how he's going to do it without, pissing people off.
Right.
So
what I want to see him do, though, is by raising the topic, because I don't know, even with this, I doubt he wins. Right. I don't think he wins. I think he may, but if he gets close enough, he could possibly force, Abbott, who is just, Abbott's fucking stupid. Abbott will just do what anybody wants him to do.
Yeah.
If it's Trump, if it's DeSantis, if it's the lady at the cafeteria, he's just going to do whatever it takes to stay in power. So if he starts seeing a huge push off of that issue, we could potentially see a serious, paradigm shift in the state Republican Party's stance on that. So I think either way, it's a good thing. I think it's bring it in.
The way Republicans can combat a successful Beto is if they start talking about the COVID restrictions that occurred in these blue states that hurt their states and restricted a lot of business and personal freedoms. And that's how they can scare the people back into red territory.
Right.
So,
right. You're very right. No, you're right. But the one thing I have to say about Beto that I have been that it really I didn't really think about until you said that was he left that alone.
He didn't really,
He backed away from all of that mass shit a long time ago. So he'd be like, look, they may do something in Washington. And I'm telling you, this is how Democrats are going to start winning states again. They may do that in Washington, but this is Texas. We have a different business philosophy. I mean, we definitely want people to be safer. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to win. Okay. He's too stupid. But he did do a smart thing with this particular policy, or the potential of discussing this policy. So
he advances it.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing.
Nothing else, he advances.
Yeah, I think it's a big thing. I think it moves forward.
It's not something that Abbott can run into either. He can't chase him in there. That's one thing.
Well, and he can't run away from it either. Abbott's going to have to. He's going to have to be pinned in this conversation.
Yeah,
and Abbott's going to say something that a lot of people are going to think is very unpopular, because of course he's got his eyes on Washington. So he wants to go on this hardcore conservative ticket. No, he wants to be
for Washington.
No, he wants to go. He wants to go so bad. I don't think as president anymore, but maybe as vice president or cabinet member. He has his eyes on Washington so bad. His pee-pee gets hard every time he sees the Capitol building.
Imagine.
So does mine, but that's different.
He becomes part of Trump's cabinet, and then Dan Patrick's the governor.
Totally different.
Oh God, could you imagine him as governor? But I'll be quite honest with you. As much as I hate Dan Patrick, I think he logically would be a better governor.
No, he's a better, as far as the head of state.
Yeah, he actually kind of says dumb shit, but he doesn't go with everything that fucking Abbott says. Like, I don't think he really goes all in. So he's super conservative, but he's a procedural person.
Yeah,
I think
he's
my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a great dude, but he definitely. I think Abbott's gone Thelma Louise, man. He's gone over the cliff now. So with that being said, I think we're gonna take a little breaky poo.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. We can everyone take a piss, relieve themselves. Send some dick pics to Ben, and just
No, you know what? I'm going to stop giving out that email because I don't want to see him. Thank you, though, because nobody has. So I appreciate the non-participation in the calls.
I'm pretty sure someone sent you a dick pic.
Nah.
Pretty sure.
No, not yet. Not this far. So we'll hold it at that. But in the meantime, you can enjoy some tunes by the young Mike Tacklebox, a project he was involved in. I think you'll like it very much. So enjoy that, and we'll see you on the other side very, very shortly. And we're back, Party in the Back underway. And just before we get into the first Party in the Back topic, I just want to gloat for a quick, brief moment. I think it was episode 90. where I laid out a scenario in which I think I'd said something to the effect of, just imagine if Putin was told, and I was half serious, half joking, but I definitely had this thought in mind. What if Putin was told at one point, hey, you've got 6 months to live? And that's what escalated all this shit, right? He's got nothing to lose. He's trying to, if anything, he knows he's going to die. He's going to establish his legacy. He's going to restore the Soviet Union to its former glory. Well, there's actually stories now to varying levels of credibility, let's just say. And in the fog of war, it's tough to know what to believe because the propaganda animal is running amok through your fucking suburban neighborhood and tearing up your shrubs and all kinds of shit. So you don't know what to believe, what's real, what's not. But there was stories that come out that was circulated from somewhat reputable publications saying that they suspect, they have inside information saying that Putin is indeed terminally ill and his health is declining. Thus, maybe some speculate, they say, hey, his face is puffy, like he's on steroids. He's got some sort of cold. I think what they've, the actual ailment that it's attached to Putin is some sort of like colon cancer or some kind of digestive cancer, right? And so they say his time is limited. And so anyway, I just wanted to rah. I made my own little prediction. I know Mexican Nostradamus has.
Dude, that was good.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was
gratifying. In other words, it was gratifying to see that story hit the press. I was just like, go back to episode 90, motherfucker. Blueberry shirt, all of it.
When I saw the news article, or the news story, I think it was like CNN or something, they were saying there's a reason why Putin looks so somber. And they show a picture of Putin. He looks exactly like he does in every other picture. But I guess now he's somber. So,
really. Yeah, and it's true. Like they paint what they want to paint.
Yeah, exactly.
But he smiled once. He's in 2018. He smiled one time. That's clearly different from what we're seeing now in 2022 as the head of state for the Russian Empire invades the Ukraine. Anyway, but that's you can draw what you want out of that, but nonetheless, it came out in the news. I feel like I take credit. I feel like Scottie Pippen for a second to Mexican Nostradamus's MJ.
What's up?
You know what I mean? I get like my little moment, like that occasional game where Scotty might have had like 35 points and MJ had 31.
Hey, since we're part in the back, can I give a shout out real quickly?
Yeah, shout out,
please.
Oh boy,
I think it was called Dickey's Barbecue.
Yes. Oh, good call.
They reached out to us after a story last week.
This is real. Fucking thank you for bringing that up. I forgot. So check this out.
Go ahead, Benji.
Yeah,
we get free dicks for life, right?
That's not. I don't think that was the proposal. But what they did do, we in Party in the Back in episode 90. So if you haven't listened, you got to go check that out. We talked about a story right here in our own Harris County, Northeast Harris County. A restaurant employee, Dickey's Barbecue to be exact, was shot because they didn't put enough barbecue sauce in this customer's order. Anyway, long story short, it won't go into more details. You'll just have to go back and get episode 90 to find out. But the next day after the release of this episode, no, actually maybe the same day.
It was the same day.
We were followed on Instagram by Dickey's Barbecue, their official fucking Dickey's Barbecue page. So shout out to Dickey's Barbecue. I think they're based out of California is what I surmise.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. If you guys want to move here, I'm sure that's probably on the agenda of every Californian at this point. Unless you want to pay $14 for gas in about a month, but nonetheless, thank you, Dickey's Barbecue.
Yeah, thank you for the follow. It was wonderful.
That was dope.
That was.
Man, I'm wondering though, so I do want to know real quick before I turn it. I'm going to step back for a second. I feel like I've been rambling, but for Dickey's Barbecue, I just want to say, if somebody could reach out, I want to know how that connection was made, how that got back to them. That was very curious.
They probably have a really good social media department. You know what I'm saying? They're probably looking for those mentions, especially anybody that has some type of, with our extensive platform, we reach pretty deep into North Korea, guys. You had to, sometimes we don't, that's true. Sometimes we don't pat our own backs as much as we should, but we're all North Koreans listen to day in, day out.
Well, not only that, but I feel like some of those those stats I get from the people with like VPNs and stuff, so it doesn't show their exact location. It just says unknown.
Yeah.
I feel like at least 40 to 45% of those are actually Kremlin insiders. So, we've really got our tentacles into the pulse of the world.
I'd still take the numbers.
That could be a good idea.
I'll take the numbers all fucking day.
Dude, maybe we should all go to North Korea as a delegation and persuade the government that let the people listen to Skip the Noise podcast, because their entertainment is quite limited over there. It's just government propaganda on TV.
It's just us. It's us and Kim Jong-un. That's it.
Kim Jong-un and whatever they play on the radio. Imagine, dude, we could like have a weekly show over there. How much listeners we get? That'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah. We could have Mike Tacklebox remix some North Korean hits.
That'd be so dope. Oh my
It'd be like,
God.
what is it? That choir music, that choir that sings like patriotic songs.
Right. That's the only music that exists. It's like a stadium
he screws it like,
that's
pretty dope as shit, dude.
People singing hymnals under gunfire threat of
under gunfire
at gunpoint.
No, they're singing hymnals while they're working like in the work camps. Like, you just hear the clanking of the chains. Well, nonetheless, big shout out to Dickey's. Good food. Just maybe have your employees trained to give out more barbecue sauce in the city of Houston,
maybe not
to avoid fucking problems.
Yeah, if you have a multiple felon that wants one extra packet of barbecue sauce, maybe not be such a dick. Why don't you just give it to him, man?
Yeah, don't be dicks at Dickey's.
Is it really? Yeah, just
come on.
Don't be like McDonald's with the fucking ketchup packets.
Right.
Oh, dude, I hate that.
Yeah. Oh, I know, dude. You know who
two packets for number one. Come on.
Yeah,
you know who hooks
McDonald's
it up?
owns
Whataburger.
the world.
Whataburger hooks it up.
How many do you want? 65? You want 65 spicy ketchups? Motherfucker, take them, all of them.
Oh, they'll bring a fucking they'll bring like a fucking card out with hey. Anyway,
sorry, continue.
Yeah, like Whataburger just will drop that shit like it's hot. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a shit. So, dude, I got mad love for Whataburger. They don't give a shit. I'd be like, you can say, they'll how many ketchups? You could literally say, give me 9 pounds of ketchup, and they'll figure it out, and they'll just put it in a bag. I mean, I don't know. But so Dickey's take, try to not let any more of your employees get shot. Okay. Yeah. If you're moving to the Houston market, we like fucking lots of barbecue sauce.
Right. So just give a couple, whatever your whatever protocol demands per corporate office, just give one extra, please.
Yeah, please. Because
the gun violence is already out of control. Let's do our part. Okay, Dickey's. So
unless you want the T-1000 working at your place, right? Like fucking Terminator and are the fucking that big robot for RoboCop.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Do you remember that thing? Right. That thing was fucking dope. So moving on, this going into the nerd corner.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Very interesting new fucking results from space was just recently. So a planet that's 444 light years away, which is a fucking really far away, is basically developing right now. Was developing 440 years ago, or 440 million. It could be million, guys. So it's basically we're seeing the light of its development. And in that light, we spectroanalyzed that there is an organic compound that's actually part of this planet's makeup, which is leading to speculation that organic compounds are actually made while a planet is being developed. So that planet's already seeded well before life ever shows up, but it has the blocks, which is kind of leading to the thought that life is extremely abundant in the universe, because if these organic building blocks are there, even in the planet's synthesis, you know what I'm saying? It's just not what it's more of a question of when life is going to happen, not whether it is or is not. It's just when is it going to happen? Right. You know,
and it could just be that. No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, go for it, please.
No, that was a great intro. But so I think what's crazy to think about is, we've got this perception just based on our own backyard, i.e., the solar system. Fucking 9 planets, give or take, right? Depending on who you ask. But out of that, right? That's fucking 1/9 has not only life, but the fucking life like a motherfucker on Earth. Like we got wars going on. Like this shit is all the way going down with life. This isn't like a little water molecule on Mars underneath some 30 goddamn miles of rock. We got some life going on Earth. So 1 out of 9 ain't bad. But how many fucking astronomical amounts, for lack of a better word, of planets, and if like what Ben is saying, it's a matter of time, right? Or on a big enough timeline, what if every planet at some point on its timeline had life? It's just a matter of how long it lasted and like what stage of the game it's in, right? It just so happens because 9's not a lot for our immediately observable environment, right? So just because those 8 out of the 9 don't have shit on them, at least that we can observe at this point, doesn't mean that they didn't at one point.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you, like I said, when you flex out the timeline and you're talking about billions of goddamn years, shit, anything goes, man. It could just be that Mercury flamed out, like whatever, like the whatever the evolution was of that planet.
Oh no. Mercury's pretty fucked. I mean, that was right next to the sun.
Okay, maybe bad example.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a little
Mars. I mean, even Mars.
Let's say it's maybe at some
Mars.
point
For
it
sure
had
Mars.
fucking fire people, right? Or Mars. Maybe Mars had
I love it.
fire people. Maybe Mars had they exist as a fucking gas. And they're able to sustain 550 fucking degrees Kelvin.
Mercury gets fucking hot.
Anyway, but yeah, Mars, right? What if Mars did? What if 50 trillion years ago it had life?
It
it's just
100% had life.
Yeah,
Venus too.
So, right. And you're talking about, that's the thing. People don't wrap their head around the fucking math involved. Like you're talking about fucking, I don't even know numbers. Like I don't even know the names of the numbers that they're so big. Does that make sense? It's like you're not going to observe. Sure. Well, it's like there's a bazillion spiders on the fucking earth, but they're not all in your house at one time.
Right. True.
So to you, there's not that many spiders. Like you might see one every couple weeks or whatever during the hot season.
Or even if you take like your numbers from their solar system, right? 1 out of 8 planets.
Yeah.
If you take 1 out,
dude,
sorry, bro.
Kamala Harris, what's up? 9. Your turn.
It's 8 planets. I kept looking at it like this motherfucker keeps saying 9. 1 out of every 8 planets. So that's 12%. Imagine 12% of planets. Like if you take that concept, 12% of planets have life in the universe. I mean, that's a fucking shitload of planets. Like it's a lot. Like we have just in what our observable, like, our galaxy. I mean, there's like 144 million stars.
Yeah.
I mean, if 10% of those have if those have planets and 10% of those planets have life, what I wish people would stop thinking is that life is so unique. Like we got to get out of this heliocentric concept that, we're so special. We're not, right? Because
maybe we are.
We're not, though. It's impossible, right? Occam's razor is always going to play the most realistic thing, is that life is not special in the sense that, I'm not saying that your lives, or, I don't want people like jumping off of, Foxconn or something for all of our Chinese listeners. I mean, what I'm saying is that the concept or the probability of life is not like special. It happens everywhere, all the time. Now, what we have done maybe as human beings in this particular region of time and space is what we've accomplished, a pretty cool thing. But, maybe accomplishments of what these civilizations, now, if you make it to a certain point, that's cool. But there's tons of life throughout the universe, like everywhere. We just don't really realize the vast difference, the vast distances, and we can't see shit. But I guarantee you, there's so much life out there. So I just think, to me, it just it still continues to play into that concept that there's life everywhere. And
But,
that,
like the people that are like, well, they would have visited us by now.
oh,
Like,
you're just like,
dude, do you know how hard
fuck.
it is? Do you know how much it takes to get an actual vehicle that can transport a living creature across, you know what I mean? A billion light years or whatever the fuck. Like,
Yeah, dude,
get
a
the
fucking
fuck
lot
outta
of
here.
fucking distance, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, light even takes billions of years for something that moves at the speed of light.
444 years, just for that one example, right?
Yeah.
That's the
And-
amount of time it takes light to travel in a year, 444 fucking times. So that's longer. The three of us together are not even gonna live a fraction of 444 years.
Yeah, you take 444 minus where we are now. Motherfuckers were still riding horses and shit. Like there wasn't like we had a completely different world. So
Right.
that's the crazy thing. So to me, I think as we move on with the concepts, and I do think that aliens are totally and will it, will have they fucking traveled here? I still think so. I'm always gonna think that shit because I just think that somebody got the head start on us. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think we're the first ones. But
Dude,
what is not what to me seems like the real most realistic possibility is that they learn how to fold space and shit. Anyways, I'm not gonna geek out, but in the end,
Yeah.
going back to your statement, 444 years. So if light from Earth reached a planet 444 light years away,
yeah,
they're barely seeing Spanish conquer like the Americas right now.
exactly.
Right. Yeah. No, really.
They're seeing
You know,
the
if
glint
they
off
have a
of
telescope.
Cortez's spear as he's like decimating populations.
Pretty much.
You know,
It's
Well, and that's
1582.
That's it, and that's considering, or that's assuming that they
Enslavement
figured out
is-
how to use a fucking telescope. Even
right? I mean,
what if they're dog
amazing.
people? You know, they don't. All
Dog
they do
people.
is just roll around
Dog
in the fucking
Nice.
mud.
They're all like licking each other and like
Hell
sniffing
yeah.
asses and shit.
Shit, yeah, they got all kinds of variations of breeds, just like we do here on Earth. with
Oh,
little
that
toy
is
breeds.
so
What happens
cute.
when we find out
Yeah,
that there's life
can you
on-
imagine a world, an entire planet, a cute ass like toy puppies
Oh
with,
man,
with little jackets and shit and
Little
bows?
I
jackets?
would
love
leave.
it.
I'd be
I
like, this
love
is
it.
too
Little
cute.
That would be
jackets.
fucking cute
Okay.
as shit. Little scarves. and shit.
Scars. Oh my god, where the fuck else are we going, bro? This is awesome though. But imagine though, but check this out. What happens if there's actually life on every single planet in our solar system? We just haven't found it yet.
We just can't find it, right? Because it's
I mean,
very.
what happens if there's
well,
fucking life on Mercury? Like, as much as I was giving you shit, what happens if there really is fire people?
right?
or
what
some
if they're
type of
they're
bacteria that-
gaseous?
Yeah. A
It's some
bacteria
sort
that
of
can live
gap-
on that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's some kind of bacteria or virus that can
Fire people.
sustain those.
Oh, I wouldn't want to
fire
catch.
people, dude.
I wouldn't want to catch that fucking virus. Could you imagine a virus that can live on a planet that's like next door to the sun? Imagine catching
Oh.
that cold. You're
Shit.
fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you better
That'd
wear
make
like
COVID
2
look
masks.
like a bitch. That thing would
Bro, you
grab COVID and rape it for
Hey.
years.
Hey, if that's the case, you got to get triple vax, wear your double mask in the car solo on your way to the clinic to get a COVID test
No,
with
my
somebody in a
God.
hazmat suit.
Yeah, dude.
You better go to that extent
Dude,
if you
no,
want to survive
dude,
on
it's,
Mercury
it's
with the
gonna
fire
burn the
people virus.
Q-tips. It's gonna burn the
It is.
Q-tip in your nose. It's gonna burn it off because the fire people don't give a fuck.
Oh man,
Imagine
They're out
fighting a
too.
war against the fire people. Now, hold on a second. I like this whole fire people concept. How fucking tits would it be if we found fire people?
I like it. I think it's.
I'm
a good
fucking
idea.
liking this, dude. I'm really digging fire people concept. I think it's, yeah. This is where
The
we
only
need to
issue
go.
with fire people is that to have fire, you'd have to have some sort of like source of energy.
Oxygen. Maybe that's
Yeah.
why they're on fire. They're like they produce oxygen like out their ass, and it
Oh,
catches
you know
them
what
on
it is?
fire the whole time.
It's like their whole DNA structure is the flint creating the spark on the lighter, and their atmosphere is pumping in the hairspray to make them blow, like your little homemade blowtorch with the lighter,
Yeah.
like in middle school.
That was a
when you
lot of
went to-
fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Okay. Bunch
are
of
all-
vandals over here.
Oh,
You guys, you never did that? You
I
got
did,
the
and then
the
I
long
blew it up. I gave it up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I almost blew that shit up. It was fucking terrifying. The little pop, like I was doing it and the fire went back and popped the top off. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I just fucked up.
That happened to me with gasoline.
You know who is a full-fledged pyromaniac?
Who?
Your boy Benji.
Really?
100%. So
Really?
my
The guy who came up with fire people as a
shout out to
pyromaniac.
Hey,
Oh, you
it's all-
would
yeah.
fuck a fire person then. You just
It's all
like,
tied
I
in.
just gotta find out.
Come on, come over
Ben's
here. It's
dick's
not
all-
so hot.
You're a
His
pyro?
hair's all singed
I was
off.
a pyro. Like I was kind of a functional pyro. So
Functional pyro.
me, shout out to the homie Steve.
Oh yeah.
That was like my best friend growing up, like those early years. But yeah, we started hella fire. Like we kept lighters. We collected lighters because we were into fire so much. We hid, like I had this whole setup in our room. I told on a previous podcast, I talked about we would make our own fireworks. Like we'd somehow during fireworks season acquire a shitload of black cats and we'd save them. However we could get them, like through friends or whatever, or like you can, because my mom was kind of anti-fireworks, so you get them through other people, blah blah blah. So we'd amass like just stacks of fucking 1,000 count black cats. Well, we'd sit there and cut. We'd get like the manila paper you use at school for like, or construction paper because of the consistency, and we'd fold it like a certain way so you could roll it up. We'd cut open like 200 black cats, like just with scissors, and pour all the gunpowder into a pile. And then you'd roll it up. You'd roll it up almost like a joint, and then you'd tape the ends so it was nice and compact. And you'd use the wick from the black cat, like the stack of black cats. You'd use the wick, and you almost have like a little mini shit, like way more power. Yeah, almost like a little stick of dynamite, because it was we'd roll them way bigger than like M80s and shit. And so there was that. We were doing that. We also there was a guy that we got in trouble. It was just like 4th or 5th grade. Once again, I think this is another story I told on a really early episode of the podcast. There was this one kid who was I don't know what happened to him, man. He had probably, his path was looking a little dark, I'll be honest. He got caught spray painting fucking pentagrams on people's fences. And it was weird. Boy. Kind of weird. Yeah. Weird kid. But anyway, he was into fire. So we were cool with him. And we also liked metal and shit. And, obnoxiously violent rap music, like Ice-T, the nice. Ice-T album, Freedom of Speech. And then also listened to Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, just like all just death, just NWA, fucking Megadeth and shit, like nothing positive, just like all fucking Satan and violence. And so anyway, making these bombs. So this kid created, like, he took it a step further. I think he actually procured a copy of the Anarchist Cookbook and essentially made like a pipe bomb out of a Coke can.
Okay.
And yeah,
nice.
We blew it up. It was like kind of behind my neighborhood. Blew it up. Some people snitched him out because there was like a crowd. It was like a whole event. Yeah, and everybody had to make statements or whatever, and the principal's
Wait, they called the cops?
Yeah, I don't think the cop. I think he might have got some sort of punishment, but I had to actually make a statement. But then also too, we set a house on fire. Well, we started it allegedly. We were able to put it out before it got too bad. But
yeah, but you still allegedly did that.
But yeah, so I was definitely into fire.
You allegedly put it out.
So our pyrotechnic friend here, starting fires and kicking tires, starting fires,
starting fires, man.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, I think we're probably getting close to wrapping up. But hey, didn't we want to talk about another invader hitting Ukraine,
dude?
Right?
There absolutely was, and I'm gonna read the intro.
It's not just the Russians that apparently dislike Ukraine.
No,
right?
Dude, it isn't. It gets bigger than that. And I'm glad we're talking about the expanse. I'm glad we were talking about. Yeah, man, we were talking about the expanses of the universe. So, Rick, I'll tell you who was involved. So, in a recent story, quotes, expert in extraterrestrials and UFOs suggested the reason Russia invaded Ukraine was to get possession of an alien space ark, whose existence would be confirmed when it rose with its underground hiding place and flew into the air. As of this writing, that event hasn't been reported by mainstream or military news or social media.
It's not going to,
right? They're too scared. They're too afraid.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. All the fake news outlets, they're not going to do it. They don't have the fucking balls like we do. However,
gypsy
there-
journalism.
bro, this is journalism for fire people. And that's the title of the fucking episode. Okay.
Fucking fire people.
So, however, and I'll stop after this paragraph. However, there might have been a number of UFO sightings which have been reported and recorded, including one where the UFO appeared to engage in battle with Russian tanks. Are aliens, as one site suggests, attempting to prevent a nuclear war that would not only affect Earth but the rest of the solar system? Or are these just the usual visuals of aerial battles by unknown or secret planes and drones in smoky darkness that makes them UFOs? Bravo. Whoever the fuck wrote that, you're completely a lunatic and you're full of shit. But that was beautiful.
Wow, that's Pulitzer Prize worthy.
I love it. So
Pulitzer
credit
Prize.
to Paul Seaburn. This came from March. Greatest rapper of all time, died on March 9th. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, kid. It's because of him. At least I know what beef is. But anyway, that's not what I would call this. This is something different. But
nice.
But anyway, UFOs in Ukraine. That was quite an event. But
So
CNN
apparently
doesn't have the fucking
so the
balls
UFOs
to report on it.
The UFOs hate fucking Russia too. Like I'm okay. Hold on.
guess
I think there's
man.
a pretty united front. Okay, at first I thought they were attacking Ukraine. No, they were attacking the Russians too. So wait, so you
Right.
got NATO,
Aliens.
right? Yep.
And
I mean,
aliens.
what kind of dick do you have to be to not want to attack Russia? Apparently at this time, because even the universe is attacking the Russians. Like, I mean, come on.
Alpha Centauri citizens are like, no, fuck Putin. This
Yeah,
has got to
dude.
stop.
They
now.
don't
I don't
like
care
Putin.
how terminally ill. I don't care how bad his intestinal cancer is. This has got to stop now.
intestinal
We're coming
cancer.
in. We're coming with UFOs.
Oh, dude,
That's
you know
what they
he
say.
so has
That's
ball cancer. He has ball cancer. He just, you know what? He got testicular cancer, and he's such like a hard ass that he doesn't want to get one ball taken off that it's spread.
Oh, he's just gonna let it go.
Yeah, he's just like,
no,
no,
really.
Avila men, no,
only that,
use the 2 balls. I
Do you
need
imagine
2
the
balls.
amount? Do you imagine the amount? I know we're wrapping up here, but can you imagine the amount of stress that he's like just kept in? Like he literally is cancer.
Oh,
Like, because he's almost 70, right? And that's about, I want to say the Russian
I think he
Russian
is almost
lifespan
70,
for
yeah.
males is pretty low, actually.
Like 42.
It's pretty crazy. No, it is pretty.
Just-
Maybe like 60 something, but it's
I don't
low.
know. I think I look. Wait, hold on. It's been updated.
Because
It's
the
38,
average on Earth is like 70 or whatever.
72.
But I think in Russia it's significantly lower. There's a lot of violence and shit like that, accidents and there's safety
and nuclear
regulations are-
fallouts.
nuclear fallouts.
Because they attack nuclear places.
Right, and they invade fucking
of
sovereign
idiots.
nations with
Well,
reckless
a lot of
abandon. So that
I'm
tends
pretty
to rack
sure,
up the body
that
count a
they
little bit
haven't-
too. But
I'm pretty sure they haven't recovered from World War II's deaths. You know, a lot of young
Oh,
people died,
no.
and
no, really,
I don't think they've recovered from that yet.
Oh,
So-
not at all.
Dude,
That's
I
probably-
think they lost 4.2 million.
Yes,
More than anybody else lost, like significantly more. That just kind of
Yeah.
shows you, man. They would literally send soldiers, and then we are wrapping up. And of course, historical thing. They would send soldiers like in a group, and only one of them would have a gun.
Right, like on what was it, Thin Red Line? Or,
No.
what movie?
Battle enemy at the gates.
Enemy at the Gates. Yeah,
But it was
yeah.
actually significantly worse. They just said enemy at gates. They showed like a pair of people sharing a rifle.
right.
In reality, it was actually a group.
Wow.
Like it was like 4 or 5 guys, and then when
Yeah.
one would die, the other would pick it up, and it was.
But
was
you know,
wow.
as far politics
brutal.
aside, as far as the people though, fucking tough, fucking
dope
ass.
people. I've
Goddamn
known a
hardy
lot of
people.
fucking Russians. They're cool
Yeah.
guys, man.
Really, for real, man. And like,
They are
it's,
cool peeps. I
and shout
have
out
no
to
problem.
I've got some friends with Ukrainian, and if you want to get a little bit bigger, Eastern, like really everybody's feeling this shit.
Yeah,
I know people I know like from Albania are like considering going over just to kind of defend their, you know what I mean? Just because of the
Yeah.
anticipation of what's next. And so that's going on too, but
oh yeah.
anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this up in a bun. I've got a
Ooh.
doozy for this outro. Once again, the young Mike Tackle Box.
Okay,
And I'm considering, so normally I blend the audio that we do the bumpers with on or like the intro and then the halftime and the end of the show. Normally I kind of even it out to kind of keep the audio clean. I think for this 91, we're approaching 100. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to like flesh it out. Like I'm going to make the audio a little bit bigger on the music, like the fleshlight that you could fuck.
Okay.
So this is going to be, this is going to be some intro, outro, halftime music you could fuck. So
Nice.
Thank me later. You'll appreciate it. Any
And tell
parting
the
words,
fire
guys?
people you said what's up.
That's right. Fire people. What did I say earlier? Fire people.
Fuck the fire people.
Fuck solar system. Damn it. I'll have to re-listen to the episode.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Fire
We'll do that.
people. Fire people.
Good night. Keep it real. Have a good week. Hoard canned goods. Buy Bitcoin. Get ready for all kinds of shit. Anyway, y'all have a good week. We'll see you
Peace
next
out.
week. Take care. Peace and love.